Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Running a little bit late tonight. Eddie K's first. What's up, Ute? How are y'all? What you working on? What you gonna fly coming up? What's up, Francis Kelly? Morning. Hubert, what's going on? Kelly, is it wrong that I want to talk about trucks? What up, Hubert? I got my Ford fixed up already. Old Sky Raider, nice. Big Cub, there you go. I know, right? Flying that lazy boy right now. Dad, what up? Yeah, I started pouring through the footage already yesterday, Kelly. I want to get it out. I did fly the Ford yesterday. There's footage of it on Facebook and Instagram, and more coming. Dude, I'm gonna start, Kelly. I'm gonna start strapping on the GoPro when I do my finish work. I want to spice up the I love the sessions in the woods, but I want to make every video a story somehow. And so, and these things, for me at least, y'all seem to knock them out and get them done and move on, but such a work in progress that there's multiple excuses to take it back out. Like when I'm finally done, I think that's when you stick it with a fork and you're finished. But obviously my Ford's not done, you know. And then how I did the repairs, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I treat it like it's the neat thing about these big bodies is, man, they're rigid and you can work on them like you would a real truck. Like I'm blocking out the repair with a file like you would a real block, and like the cracks and the splits that I encountered from bashing on that thing, I like chamfered them out so there's more surface area for the glue, and then blocked them and bondoed them. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I think it's worth showing that. I mean, just like the Corsair repair video, people enjoy that part of the process. It's pretty, but it needs windows, man. You know what I mean? It needs windows, windshield wipers. I've got ideas for the truck bed, lights. I need to paint my weather seal, get the silver on the handles, those kinds of things, man. Just set it off. It wouldn't be awful to have. I want to go back in on the arches on the back, just a little bit of tweaking on the arch in the back, and I'll be happy with it visually. Yeah, it is the journey, man. Sorry to hear that, man. You lost the F-22. The Caucus Pittis. Bro, Mike's out of his damn mind, dude. He was hilarious. I'm sure he's still hilarious. What's up, John? John, I got my Typhon 6S fixed up for 4S e-buggy 8-scale racing outside. I'll show it to you guys in a minute. I definitely want to talk about planes because that's what this is. And I thought about, I don't know, I thought about not being on long tonight. They're talking about this Relarlo truck at Urban's show that I kind of wanted to watch. And I really want to work on my video for that we did yesterday, because I know if I don't get after it, I may not get it done. Yeah, but I didn't fly, man. I mean, I didn't get to fly. I can't wait to. But man, it's Sunday night. I'm back to it in the morning. Weekends are short. I got a ton of work I want to do. I don't know how long I'm going to stay. I gave that to Bobby forever ago, Hubert. Like right after we got done with the video, I gave it to him. But it may still be around. I'm not sure. Drift. That's a kit, probably. Cool. My Cessna from HSD is the only thing I have still, and I really hated getting rid of the T-33, but I could never get it right again after I wiped out the MFC board, and it just wasn't happening, so I got rid of it. Boss encountered an AR-631 that wasn't up to date. Was easy to program safe in though. Did you have to update it? Or were you able to do it RTR? Right on. That's cool. All right. I just turned the volume down though, so you can't bother me anymore during the show. I mean, my bad. Worked on the Eagle till 4 this morning, Jerry said. It went into forward programming. Good. It still should. It's just the plus stuff that you may not, but only had gyro settings. Was it out of a bind and fly? Did you have to update it? Or if you only had gyro settings, then you wouldn't have been able to factory reset it without doing an update, is what I understand. Yes, update. And then you were able to set it up from scratch. Updated. Yeah, because you can't factory it. It didn't offer you a factory reset because you need the other settings to be able to open up to get it. What power system, Jerry, in the Kristen Eagle? Kelly's got one. I flew it. It's dope. Kelly, we got to fly this year. Over there in Elkhart, where Dylan flies, close to you, right off of 20. The place isn't bad. Geotechs, like my field, but they have electricity, which is pretty cool, actually. I do, Hubert. Yes, I do think they're good jets. Calvin, what kind of great question, and you guys can chime in on this. I know my answer, but I want to ask you, what is it that you're wanting to fly? Are you wanting to revitalize your current fleet, or where are you at with your fleet? Like, what kind of planes do you have? What are you wanting to fly? That's what I'd ask. I like the Spectrum radios and receivers. Always have. I did fly with a Futaba for a long time because I did a magazine article on one. Otherwise, I would have been Spectrum forever. exclusively. And there's a lot of good stuff out there, but if you like the bind and flies and plug and plays and stuff that you see being offered from the place that leads the charge on innovation, and I think everybody else is trying to keep up with always, the Horizon planes. If you have a Spectrum radio, easy access to them. Success. What's up, Rogers RC Aviation? But there are a lot of good choices out there, and it really depends where you're at. Also, if some folks don't want in on all of the new stuff and what comes with that in the way of stabilization, AS3X, and safe potential that the rest of us a lot of us are enjoying. If you're not worried about any of that, then you don't need something that can communicate with it, and you could go any way you want. I mean, those JR radios have a great reputation, and they were fantastic from all reports. They're just not around really, I guess, now. You flew the Spitfire. That's a good size, isn't it? The wing loadings makes it feel real. It's not too floaty. That 1450 Spit and big honking motor in the front. That's a smooth flyer. Yeah. I flew one of those once. Nice. Boss, paving the field. We fly for kind of a shorter field, but when we get these opportunities to be somewhere with the long runway, we definitely enjoy it and take stuff that's like we don't get to really enjoy the rollout or touch and goes with. So smaller tire, bigger jets, things like that always come. Stuff that has to land hot, things like that. When you have the opportunity to fly at a longer runway, it's time to bring them out. Faux show. $800 man, that's nice. That's a good one. I think ours is like 280. Richard, I've been flying since 2008. The models, and when I was a kid, I was around full scale, but since 2008. How about you? Got it, Dan. Yeah, that was amazing. I saw that video. Did you guys see that giant Tyler Perry 777 maiden, the Ram ERC build? Holy smokes. That thing was, did you see when he dumped the flaps, the nose come down? Bro, like mix in a little bit up, man. That thing did fly so slow. That was wicked, man. That thing was wicked. You see the batteries in it, but it sounded like perfect. Didn't sound like it was working too hard, nothing. It seemed fairly efficient. And he flew it well and had all kinds of time to get it right on the landing. I was checking to make sure he kicked rudder. He did. He kicked rudder to straighten the nose out on at least one of those landings. I think watching the tires smoke was awesome when he hit the brakes. That was killer. Oh yeah, 450 millimeter EDF. Like, you're so close to building stuff that you can fly in for what they've got in those. What's up, Gaza from the UK? Yeah, the tire smoke was legit. That was fantastic. Oh, dude, more than I want to know. But what a cool project. What a cool thing to get to do. And man, that property. Holy smokes. Crazy town. Yeah. Yeah, smoked him up, man. Smoked him up and landed slow. I mean, that was neat. RC budget's $1 million. What about the employees? What a neat gig. What a neat gig. Somebody build your planes for you, and that's what they're you put them on task to do. And then you get to go out there and fly it. Awesome. Oh, dude. That workshop was amazing. That private facility is out of this world. Out of this world. And you can see the scope of the property from those onboard shots from the onboard cameras. Fly High Ireland, UK, what up? Yeah, dude, finished paint's gonna look professional. And man, all the systems seem to work like flawlessly. You know what I mean? The gear and the doors, and I'm not sure he had flaps on that first flight, which is why I think we saw more smoke on the tires. Yeah. Dude, literally, man, I'm like, how is it even legal to fly something that big? I mean, and I'm not one to, tell on the neighbors when they paint the shed the wrong color for sure. But like, dude, that's how I'd be talking about pucker factor, man. That is massive. I remember a guy brought, I've seen some big airliners at jet shows, and they weren't that big, and they were still just like, whoa. Yeah, he flies on private property. Ben Harbor's C-47 was huge. That was neat. Absolutely fantastic. And I think the finer points of flight, you really get to experience it a little bit more when you have something that big and lumbering, where you get to really see how all your inputs act on the airframe and plenty of time to discern what you're seeing from those moves. Yeah. 500 pounds. What? He's got to have a Freya at his place. Yeah. That's cool. Does the real 7.7 have moving winglets? Probably just his to get out the door. That was neat. He got a waiver to fly in Germany. Tim Smith, what's happening? So it was just to get out the door. So that's a no then. That makes sense. I mean, most of those birds aren't going to have any reason to retract or fold them up. Wow. Did they know it going in? They were going to have to modify that, clip the wing, not clip the wings, but fold them up. The real airplane does. Okay, that makes more sense too for the rivet counter in me. Um, yeah, I do wonder what the paint will change the weight of that. Because it does add up. Would love to have a Jet ETX, but it's out of reach. Leaning toward Futaba as a replacement. That's not. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, the thing with that is, I think it's definitely. You of course have to make sure you are on. They have multiple protocols as well, so you just have to make sure you're getting the right receivers. But there's not a lot to keep up with in the way of updates and stuff like that. If you're flying really monster stuff and you're not going to want gyros, or you already know that you want uh, a certain manufacturer of stabilization, then I think that makes sense. If you go with Spectrum and you're flying big stuff, they've got options too with the Synapse and those monster systems. Yeah, like federally recognized independent airspace, I guess. I don't know what it stands for exactly, but all the AMA sanctioned clubs, at least most of them, a lot of them got their status. So we don't have to worry about Sky ID at those spots. And I'm not hearing a whole lot of people having to worry about it in general. But it's one of those things hanging over your head all the time if you think about it, as far as compliance goes. How much do those EDFs cost? Yeah. I mean, in my mind, I'm like 3 to 5 grand. I could be out of my mind. It could be more than that. It could be more than that. Sweet. Yeah, I had fun playing with the AS3X Plus last week. Um, it's gonna be fun to try it out. 5K. That was my guess. Yeah. Blessings. I can't imagine being able to do that. That's awesome. Maybe I should wear a dress and pretend to be my grandma more often. You know what's great about a big old butcher block work table? You can, when you get glue and junk on it, you just sand it off. Yes, but here's the big but, and I cannot lie. Let me know how it goes for you if you do. Because here's the deal. Yes, you can update the receivers to the protocol firmware that is on the Plus receivers. You're using what? Radio Master. So I don't know what that's going to do with your user interface. But I'm curious for you to tell me what that would do. And logic doesn't always apply to this software stuff, as I think you know. But I would be interested. You know, if you had a receiver that works and then you update it to Plus, are you still able to use it? The one thing about the updates, regardless of whether you were on a Spectrum radio or not, you're resetting it back up. Now you can bind to the original model profile, blah, blah. But as far as any stability goes and everything, you got to double check everything. Act like it's a new one. I just did it the other night where I reset one or something, and I didn't check my throws, and I was wrong, so I had to redo the whole thing. Has your NX10 been updated, Ute, before? SPMA 3065 is the cable that is used for receivers. So has the radio been updated before? The reason I ask is because the first time I updated my radio, I had to use SD card. And this was kind of a known thing, I guess, a while back on some of these, where the first one's not going to work, but after that, then you can use the Wi-Fi. So now I can do the Wi-Fi, but I couldn't the first time. And then if, yeah, you got to be registered, have a My Spectrum account, all that stuff too. You've never so go with the SD card, get that done that way. Best thing, easiest thing really is to get registered. You know, you set up, you go to spectrumrc.com, go to My Spectrum, top, okay, it's registered. So you can pull the update file right there off your list and then dump it onto the SD card. The SD card has to be FAT32 on on an NX 32 gigabytes class 6. And once that's on your SD card, you just put it in the radio and turn it on. If it's never been updated before. After that, it should be easier to do Wi-Fi if you want to do Wi-Fi. But again, when you do the Wi-Fi over the radio, you're logging into your house Wi-Fi, and you're also logging in with your Spectrum credentials as well. So there's, in a way, two pieces of information that you're logging into. Which SD card did you use, though? It's got to be a 32 gigger. 32 gig, class 6 or below. It has to be. And I don't know why. It's just what it is. And then a lot of us maybe are clumsy at this stuff because we don't do it all the time. There's a way to do it with the cable, but it's not the SPMA 3065 cable. It's just like USB. It's doable. It's not as self-explanatory. One reason your SD card may not work is if it's not in the right specs. The other reason, I think the card's easier too, yeah. The other reason it may not work is if, this is what I was saying before, if I'm downloading something I don't do very often, I might download it more than once by mistake. So if you've got the file name and you downloaded it more than once, or you have a prior update from way back still on your computer, and it throws a number in the code, like, you know how if you upload an identical picture twice, it'll start to number the file, because it has to make a difference somehow. If there's a number in that file, that means it's not. Yeah, that's it. For whatever, if it was a camera, we would laugh at you for talking about 32 gigs class 6. But for whatever reason, that's what those have to have. It's got to be a 32 gig class 6 or less. On the NX, the DX stuff wants a 16 class 4. And yeah, there's a few things that could trip you up, but the first one would be the card. It was not proper. And then you double check that the file name doesn't have a number in it. And when you're transferring the files, you just transfer them to the SD card. You don't need to open them. You're not going to be able to read what it says anyway. It's a bunch of weird code. But something about opening the file may also change its syntax. Yeah, get a new card. You're already registered, so get a new card. Make sure it's a clean file name. And literally, if you have the right file, but it says there's a 1 or a 2 or a 3 in it, in parentheses, I think you just have to rename the file, put the cursor on the other side, backspace 3 times, and it's a clean file name. I've played with this stuff a lot. So yeah, this is good stuff actually to talk about, because I play with that stuff a lot more than I'm actually able to get out and film a plane. So I'm still messing with them a lot. The one next thing I was going to say is for I think we figured it out that it was the card for you. But if everything else was perfect, if you have updated before and then everything's perfect and you're not able to do it over Wi-Fi, then it could be potentially, I think it's a security function of a router on a home system. I think it's WPA 3 or something is more of the modern cybersecurity baloney that's in your stuff with your home internet. And so sometimes that doesn't play friendly, and you might have to do it in the PA2 setting or whatever. Ute. I think the IX14 is a great radio. I unfortunately have no experience with the IX radios. And for that reason, I'm sticking with the NX stuff personally because it feels like a DX. It's still relevant. It's 20 channels. There's so many of them out there. You're going to always have, I think, really good support and a ton of info on them when you need to go to YouTube University. If you like your NX, stick with your NX. I think some of you guys that have Android phones may like that IX stuff better. I'm an Apple guy, and so I'm not trying to learn the Android interface. And so I don't feel like I've really missed out by not having an IX radio. But I would like to know how to use one, just so I can continue to be super helpful on this, my career here on YouTube. Making that money, son. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Legit. If you ask SIRI what month it is, I heard she doesn't know. It's because the world actually ended at Y2K. Was it then, or was it 2012? It actually ended, and that's why now they don't know how to spell Berenstein Bears. It's the lizard people's fault. What's up, Victor? I see a lot of scale RC truck bodies in a box. Yeah, filament rolls. Yeah, I'm Apple. Yeah, and I do want to learn the IX because it would be good. Been in a simulation since Y2K. I say this all the time. Like, if we are living in a simulation and we make our own destiny, then how much do some of us maybe truly not like ourselves? If we're making our own destiny, then what in the world? Trust it and roll, I guess. I want to get out of the way of the clock, just like Neo does the bullet. Like, I want to get out of the way of Monday through Friday, the dodge the bullet business. RC simulator. Speaking of, Wild Bill's show Monday night real flight. Hop in the room. It's called the Monday Night Real Flight Fly-In. The code to get in is 8675309. And maybe we'll fly together. I've been popping in on Mondays. I finally got my real flight up and running and have been popping in and trying to form up and fly a little bit of RC formation with my dudes. DX6 guy. And that works, I think, with especially you build a lot of planes. The DX6 becomes a problem for the guy who wants to retract some flaps and safe, because unlike the newer radios, the DX doesn't have the phantom 7th channel to operate the stability of safe. So yeah, that's why. But if you got planes that are like no gear, you don't have to worry about that. Real flight is a great tool. It really is. and it's fun. I need to get hooked up with I think it'd be great to talk to you guys in the thing. I think some of you probably are talking to each other with like headphones or whatever. Yeah, you can buy it off Steam, or right there with on the Horizon website. You can get it. You can get it with the radio too, and then you don't have to worry about tying yours in. You just plug in theirs, the one that comes with it. You don't have to worry about it. You're going to spend a little more for it, but it's easier. I like having a dedicated radio for it. I need to play with my good radio and put it on there. You have the edition right before Steam 9.5S. I think you can upgrade it through Steam. The name of the fly-in is like the Monday night fly-in. It asks you when you enter in a multiplayer if you want to use the microphone. Wild Bill show, Monday night real flight fly-in. And then the password to get in is 8675309. Wild Bill's here in the chat. Subscribe to his channel. And then every Monday night, this real flight fly-in goes down. We've been having a ball. He'll put it's at 9:30 Eastern time, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. I thought it was 9:30 Eastern time, 6:30 California time, I guess. But they've changed time. And isn't it all just an illusion anyway? If you don't know what time it is, just ask a lizard person. Just ask a lizard person. Wild Bill said I was right. Yeah, 9:30 Eastern time. Microphone. I'll have to check that out, man. I was just so happy to finally get in there. Finally, the last couple of weeks I've been able to pop in. So I pop in about 9:30 or so when I get the kids upstairs. My boy's the last one to go to bed, so we usually, bro, I'm watching X-Files right before I come in here every time on Thursday and Sunday. It's just our jam. We're watching it. So yeah, I'll get him up and then yeah, it's all through Steam and stuff now. Urban Legend raid time. Raid time, ladies and gentlemen. I need some sound effects. I need a Steam Deck or something, man. Ty's got it dialed in over there. They're raiding us. Tell them, hey, back. I told the guys when I first got in here today, I didn't think I was going to be on long because I wanted to go check out the Rilarlo talk. What's up, you guys? Chastity! The raid is on. The air raid. The Urban Legend air raid. Fred came up with the air raid. That was perfect when we go over to his show. So 6:30 for us left coasters. Yeah, if your time has changed as well, then yes. Dwayne Clark is life. The Urban Peeps. Speed Demon RC. What's happening? Loud 410. Good times. I had a blast over there with those guys Tuesday. That was a fun show. Hey, while some of those cats are here, let's show you the Typhon. I told you guys I was getting it fixed up. For buggy racing, 8 scale this year. It looks like a regular 6S Typhon. except it's got legit like racing wheels on it. That's it. And I'll be running it on 4S. That's it. That's it. This way I don't have to buy a new one. I just fixed this one up. This one was in bad shape, and I fixed it up the other night. And I had all the parts I need. If you can guess the part that I didn't get that I need, I'll let you subscribe to this channel for free. All right? So tell me what part you think that I need to order with this brief demonstration. A lot of you already know. These Ty, these are the AKA Gridiron 2s. Pre-mounted buggy, 8-scale buggy tires, 17 millimeter hex, and it don't stop. Good guess is life. Michael Bear, free. You get a free subscription. You get a free subscription. You get a free subscription. Well, there isn't a 4S Typhon. The 3S Typhon is the same 8-scale size as this one. You guys are really close. All right, let me show you inside, and then I'll let you guess again. No, I got the chassis brake. Dude, we sent this one. This chassis is bent a little bit because we sent this, dude, man. I used to send this. But the motor's in there. Motor's in it. Motor's in it, and you can hear the spur. Look at the position of the car. Center front drive shaft. That's it. The drive shaft from the center diff to the front. So that's why you hear nothing here and everything there. But this is just the regular old 6S Typhon. I'll run it on 4S and I'll race this. This looks a lot like the TLR Tune Typhon, and it does look a lot like a any other, 8-scale buggy. We've been talking about Plains Ute the whole time. I had a bunch of surface guys come over and I wanted to show them the Typhon because we were talking about it. But yeah, I got all the parts I needed to get this back together in one session, and I thought I had that drive shaft and I didn't. So I got to get a center to the front. So now I'm in the game. I got a truggy for 8-scale, and now I got a buggy ready to go for 8-scale without having to pony up and buy one. And fixed up a piece of decrepit garbage that was sitting around, and this was in pieces. So I'm all set. Come on, man. I didn't do nothing. This stock. Because I wasn't sure, like once I get out there in the dirt with this, I have driven other guys' buggies. I'm going to drive that, and I'm going to drive theirs. And if I can tell a big difference, then maybe I'll buggy up. So I wanted to keep it stock because if I'm going to flip it, I'll just get rid of it. Like I replaced a motor, stock motor. One of the old Arma cans. Oh, man, I have bashers, dude. I got the Creighton 6S and that Typhon, and I've had a bunch of bashers in the past. I still have a Vortex 3S. Seriously, yeah. And those tires in the dirt for racing will be better than the stock ones. But yeah, I'm going to drive that up against a dedicated buggy and see what I think. And if I feel like I can compete with this, then I'll keep it. If not, I'll get rid of it. That's why I didn't want to put a ton into it before I know. On the RC truck playlist, crawlers is mostly where I'm at. But I've done some racing. You ought to check out the Losi Truggy video. I think it's good. Here on my channel, I showed every kind of racing: stadium truck, buggy, truggy, short course. I got second place with a Losi ready to run out of the box. I got lucky. I think it would have been third place, but a guy who's usually pretty good, I think his battery went flat. Absolutely, Dwayne. Yeah, there's a ton, man. Because steady since 2012, I've been putting out something. I did not change the gearing. It's got on the parts list, I grabbed the pinion I saw there, and it was like, I think it was a 16 tooth pinion. What's up, Addicted to RC? Yeah, thanks everybody for coming over. And Thursday, I'll talk about everything RC on both shows, but I try to stay a little plane centric on Sunday. But it's what it is, man, and whatever I'm up to, and that's what I'm up to. Yeah, Dwayne, check out that RC truck playlist. Of course, there's tons of plane stuff, jets and airplanes, man, for sure. But the crawler stuff has found me over the last little while, and it's been a blast. Kelly and Kirk and myself are printing off SCX6 monster crawler bodies as well as 10 scale stuff, and just having a good time. Come on, man. It's not that bad, dude. No one's making you. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. So, programming questions, airplane stuff, lay it on me, because I want to get to editing, actually. It is all fun. Yeah, I got to work too, man. It's a simulation, dude. Program yourself off tomorrow. And tell your lizard people boss I said it's okay. Madhouse, thanks for coming. Yeah, man, I'm so glad to see the weather turning. I wish the wind would go away a little bit, but at least it's light now after work. It used to be dark after work. So I need to pop over to the school and get some hat cam stuff done and think about my new formats. The thing about the videos too is I was kind of going there in a discussion the other day with people where I was talking about one of the guys I used to have, Captain Mike, when we were at that one place for 5 years. I made hundreds of videos and he made less than 10, maybe less than 5. They were good though. They were really good. But you have to do stuff you can sustain. If you're trying to do it weekly and it takes you 3 weeks to make one, you can't sustain that. How many planes? I have no idea, dude. In my life, I've had so many. There's no way I would know. But that I can think of right now in this room, there's like 15 in this room right here. And in the garage, probably 10 more. Now I want to know how many's in. Hold on a minute, real fast. That's pretty close. There's like 12 in the garage. Anson, best beginner plane, Aero Scout. You can get them at Horizon Hobby or Amazon or hobby shops. It's ready to fly. You just need to have a 2200 or 1300 3S battery with an IC3 plug. But the Aero Scout is, I think a lot of us would agree, is a fantastic first plane, ready to fly. This one's not put together, but the wing goes on top. It's got a nose gear, 2 gear back here, pusher prop, battery goes in the front. And this is a great trainer because if you do crash it, and you're gonna, if you're learning, you maybe won't ruin your day because this is back here and it's not going to get messed up. So Aero Scout for sure. And it comes with a radio good enough to get it done. Basic radio, but perfect for what it does. And the Aero Scout has 3 stability modes, basically, right? You've got, okay, this is cool. This is a wing. You got beginner mode, 3 different modes. Beginner mode's going to limit the bank angle, so your wings won't go more than this. No matter how hard you stick it over, it won't go more than this. So as long as you have airspeed and the props moving, basically you can't roll it over and crash it. Now you can still screw up a landing and get too slow, stuff like that. But beginner mode's going to limit the bank angle like this. Intermediate mode's going to give you a little bit more, but still not let you roll it over. And then expert mode's going to let you roll it, flip it, smack it up, flip it, and rub it down. But you'll have stability smoothing out like AVC. Like on the vehicles, the AVC, it's going to be like that in that expert mode. So you still benefit from the stability gyro, but it doesn't limit your bank angle, keeping you from crashing. So, and it comes pre-programmed. That's why I say that's the best ready to fly beginner plane, because any plane that has those progressive modes, there are a few other options. I think that's the best because it's a tricycle landing gear with a pusher prop. But anything that's got the progressive modes, you're going to have those 3 beginner, intermediate, and expert, which is just like safe and not safe. Which F-18? Loud 410. I've flown a few F-18s. Yeah, Real Flight's a great tool for learning how to fly. For the Aero Scout, do you have to fly it in specific flying areas or fly zones? You really should join a club if you're going to fly, but I think if you're just trying to feel it out to see if it's something you want to do, it's still a good idea to go to a club, but maybe just kind of try to arrange it with somebody. Don't worry about paying dues and stuff yet until you know you're going to like it. And if you got private property or somebody with access to private property, that's good place as well. Depending on local jurisdictions, they can be sticklers about your plane having a remote ID module in it. It depends on where you live. You can always plead ignorance as well. But legit, man, if you got any questions more about the specifics on that club stuff or the remote ID, mostly if you exercise common sense, you'll be all right. Those of us who do fly inadvertently have become aware of the regulations. You don't fly over people. You don't fly around airports and crazy stuff like that. And you kind of just learn those rules as you go. Comes naturally for you, Fred. But literally, the Real flight simulator, Anson, you can get it with the remote for the simulator and fly a whole lot of the planes that are being offered today in the foamy market and get that muscle memory. And there's even training modules and things that like that you can do. And to buy the unit with the radio, it is about $200. But when you compare that to the price of the inevitable crash, if you don't prepare yourself ahead of time, it's totally a great way to save money. Come by the Real Flight Fly-In and on Mondays. Wild Bill's channel, he's in the room. Every Monday, he's doing a Real Flight Fly-In. You just watch, come to his stream on Monday night, 9:30 Eastern time, and you can see exactly what we're all able to do in real flight, and you're able to fly with other cats online if you want to as well, like we're doing on that show. A lot of clubs do have a club trainer, people that are designated to teach newcomers, and they generally usually are using an apprentice or an Aero Scout to do it. Super Hornet, what manufacturer though? I mean, I like F-18s. They fly good. The Super Hornet's got the rounded intakes, right? I think that's the better looking one. I have flown the FMS ones, the free wing ones, and that's it. I think HSD has one now too, but they do fly good. FMS, what's their new F-18 like now, guys? I haven't checked it out. Is it fixed gear or they got retracts and stuff on it? In Loud 410, also, my question too is what other planes do you have? Like, what else are you flying? Because if you haven't been flying at all, an F-18 is not the good choice as a first plane. But it's an awesome thing to have on the hanging up to work towards. You know what I mean? Yeah, the old school 70mm F-18, I have videos on it from years ago. I flew that joint in Texas. I think one of my first belly touch and goes was with that one. I drug the knuckles. It was It was Dave Hawker's F-18. The new one is 64 millimeter in fixed gear. Definitely better than the older 64 millimeter because it's probably EPO foam, better looking components and hardware. Is it 4S or 6S? It's probably 4S if it's a 64. It's just not a first plane. Nice. Yeah, wheels up, scrape and go. And the way those landing gear hang out, it was like I drug the knees on it. What's up, J-Man? 4S, yeah. Doesn't surprise me. That makes sense. Jets are awesome. The flight times are short, but they are fantastic. And they do fly differently. Like there's not a big wing area, but they're flat. And so once you get the nose up, it's a completely different flight envelope, than like a wing plane. And a lot of times on the jets, the wings look small, but the whole fuselage is also generating lift. So yeah, when your hand's out the window like this, it's pretty smooth, but you start doing this and you can really feel that pressure. Bring your hand back. Same thing happens on a jet. So if your hand's out the window and it's like hitting the brakes, you have to compensate with more power. So the slower you go nose up, the more power you need to sustain that and push it through. One of the funnest things to do with jets is that high alpha move for me. What's up, Craig? Yep, they are a lifting body. The fuselage is a lift generator as well, especially once you get into 5th generation and newer plan form designs. Yeah, older early legacy jets, I'd say like F86s and stuff like that, if the fuse is generating any lift at all, it's just by accident. It's more just a drag thing, not a designed into it stability factor. F-18s will deep stall on you too if you're not careful. When in doubt, load the nose. That's what I say. Maiden flights, nervous flights, when in doubt, load the nose. I use the analogy of the paper airplane all the time. You got a paper airplane that does not fly well. Throw a penny in the front or a paper clip and watch it all of a sudden go right where you tell it to. It's the same thing with these. The Habu UMX, F-22, 15, 14. Yeah, they do. The F-22 is a high alpha machine. To me, the F-18 felt like, and at the time when I was getting some of my first experience on it, I had been flying F-4s and F-22. And so the F-18 felt really right in the middle between the super heavy feeling F4 and the very light feeling F-22. Yeah, man. F-22s are good, dude. They're good. And you look at an F-22 and you look at an F-35 and you think they're going to be able to do the same stuff. The F-22 is like a safety, and the F-35 is like a lineman. Even though they look the same-ish. F-47. F-22s are awesome. I've enjoyed every one I've had my hands on. I'd like to have another one, actually. F-47. What the hell's an F-47? No, I don't know what the F-47 is. Dang. That's bad to the bone. It looks like the F-47 looks like a mix between an F-22 and like a Delta Dart. Wow. That's neat. Huh. F-16 is a nice flyer. Classic. The real story on the F-16 is super interesting too. And look what lightweight can do for you. General Dynamics. That is sharp looking, like it'll poke your eye out sharp. It kind of does look difficult, but every time I see something that looks like it's designed to fly super fast, I'm like, that's going to suck as a model. But it still has, to me, that F-22 DNA in it makes me think there's hope for it to be good. Slow flying too. Lots of wing area, look like. Yeah, F-16s are awesome. F-86, I love. F-86 to me, I love my FMS one. Let me cut this heat off. The F-86, man, it is North American Aviation is the designer behind the F-86. And they are known to bring you the classics as the P-51 Mustang, the T-6, the B-25, other cool things from North American Aviation. And when I look at the F-86, I see the DNA from some of my favorite warbirds in the F-86. The F-86 is nothing like a modern lifting body fuselage type of jet. It's more like exactly what I think it is, which is you had warbird designer people and culture at a company who were put to task to design a jet with the methods they had and what they knew in their own history. And the F-86 looks like a warbird with a jet engine in the middle. And that will always be cool. That little 80 millimeter F5, John, it is a ripper. Um, the F5, I like it, but I think it's too small. What I miss, Brian? In about 6 months? What? I like F86s. I feel like for a jet, for a warbird guy going into jets, the F86 is a natural progression. You're not going to get hit over the head with the high alpha delta wing drag differences, you know, and angle of attack stuff. You're going to be able to bring it in like a, you know, a T-28. Big Jim, what up, man? Yeah, thanks to you guys who came over to that show Tuesday to hang out with us. Bell X1. Nice. Yeah, some of the new stuff, I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, that X1. How could I forget? Yeah, that would be cool. I can't help it when I look at that X1, I kind of see a B-26. What is it? The Marauder a little bit. Just a little. I know that sounds crazy. What's up, Philip? Which F4 do you have, boss? I enjoyed flying the E-flite one better than the free wing one, and it had to be wing loading. It's a total brick. But yeah, it can be worked out. I see a lot of people get way too slow with them though. Nice, Big Jim. Yeah. Wiggle Fingers hasn't flown the F4 yet. Which one do you have, boss? Yeah, I sold one of my old F4s to Craig. I did the custom Navy scheme on it before they were offering the Navy scheme. What is it? Red Rippers or something? I think it is. The scheme on there. Dude, every little facet you see in the F4 was to solve an aerodynamic problem. You know, watch some of the training videos from the real one on the parameters they had to operate within. The certain speeds you're like, you do not touch the ailerons, like this kind of thing. It's pretty nasty aerodynamically. You know what I mean? But its history is what makes it great. I don't think as a flyer it's one of my favorites, but its history makes it. But after flying the E-flite and the free wing one, what's up, Ty on 2 Wheels? He's in here on both channels. What up? I enjoyed the E-flite one better. Just on it was the wing loading. That's awesome, Wiggle Fingers. Nice, Big Jim. Yeah, those big Relarlo crawlers have got my attention a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. They got a Rover and Jeeps. Thanks, Ty. Pop in on Real Flight with us tomorrow. Yeah, man. I remember doing video. The videos are still there, but I did video on the F4E flight, flew it stock out of the box, played with the flaps, and did not like it. And I thought it was interesting that there was not, unless I just missed it, and I was looking for it, the flap to elevator mix that I knew the free wing needed. And it was in the book as well. Didn't have call out. The E-Flight book did not have call outs from flap to elevator. So I did some of the same settings on my E-Flight one that I did on my free wing one. And all of a sudden it was dialed. So it doesn't matter the company, it's the shape. Tim, do you have your plane on chase on Real Flight for Bill's Mondays? Yeah. Yeah. And partly sometimes it's because of the field we're flying at with if there's a lot of obstacles. But I could fly fixed position. What's up with that deal from FMS on FMS Dual 70 SU27 J11 for $599? The FMS Twin 70 SU27 is the same as the old E-Flight SU30. We did a bunch of videos on that. It's a big, kind of heavy plane. It's fantastic. It's going to be a handful, but it's really good. It's really good. But it's definitely I would say it's definitely for experienced pilots. Mountain RC have a few of those, no issues. What are we talking about? My best flying plane? I gotta love that T-28 Big Carbon Z Trojan, dude, and the Big Cub. I don't have one favorite. No, I got rid of that Big 29 pretty early on. Dude, it's about space and it's about money to fund the channel. Like if you've got, bro, I've gotten rid of so many planes and I still have 30 or close to it. Yeah, you got to move them sometimes. So that one's gone. I wanted to make the video and I did, and it was good. Made a couple, I think, on that thing and then got rid of it. I really wanted to because I had flown the smaller MiG-29 and I knew the big one was going to be dope. At the time I was thinking about an F-14 and then the big 29 came out and I was like, dude, that's going to be better. I just know it on wing loading and everything. I don't need the wing sweep, tougher landing gear. I that's what I wanted. Oh no, Pound the Ground. That's a good flyer though. And I remember when it first came out, I wasn't there anymore, but Alpha like called me and was talking to me about when it first was released, they did something, they changed the servos out or I don't know what. But he asked me about it and I was like, dude, I already flew it. I already flew it with what it came with. Yeah, you got to move them sometimes. And the planes, dude, you could stack a bunch of cars in the corner, but these planes, man, they're you look at them wrong and you got a mark on them. They're just made out of different material. So You can only trip over it so many times before you're like, man, I got to get rid of this while I can still get something out of it. Big Jim says, if any of you guys have the Promoto bike, go to eBay and pick up the light kit from Louis Fix It. Very well done. Awesome. I think you guys need to follow all those cats on their channels and their Instagrams and stuff. And you'll see when like new light kits are released and new videos are out from these guys and what's going on. It's a good community he's got going over there, man. It really is. And what we have going on here, it's unbelievable how many of you guys have your own thing going and put out like killer content all the time. Fantastic. A lot of these guys are putting out videos and posting up what they're doing on RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group and their own channels. Man, my guy that does the files that I like so much on Colts 3D that I get a lot of my files from, he's been doing a couple international trucks. I gotta send him a picture of that Snow Star because I want that one. The ones he has are really close, but the grills are different. Like, I'm gonna do Grandpa's truck if I can get one. But yeah, Louis making all kinds of lights for bashers and the bikes. And I think he can probably make whatever you asked him. But I think if it's a one-off, it's going to slow him down and maybe you have to pay for that premium. The T28 1.2 is fantastic. 1.2 is a great size. The 1.2 P47 is killer. I do want to repaint mine. Have a good one, Brian. Yeah, I'm going to dip in a minute and get cracking on an edit. Slime lights. That's the only thing the F22 was ever missing. I do like Trojans, man. But that big one, holy smokes, dude. It's just so cool. It's just so big and slow, but it'll rip. You know, I mean, I like it. I like it. But I really do like my P40 from FMS as well. And it depends what kind of flavor I'm into. If I want to be scared a little bit, you know, and that changes what I would want to fly, you know what I mean? The 1.5 Mustang, I love it, but I'm also a little scared of it on the ground. But that's okay. But boy, it flies great. You know. J-Man, thanks. It is a lot of time, and there's something about it that's super therapeutic. And dude, when I'm fixing them or making them in the first place or fixing them after, you know, the big red Travelall, I smacked it up pretty good when I popped the hood off in that run. And you only saw one of the crashes, but after that, I hit it in the same spot again. Broke it up pretty good, but still drove out of the woods. This F-150, 250, I thrashed on it Saturday, fixing it. And there's something about it, man. When I start sanding on it, filling and finishing and making repairs, like when I'm sanding in it, just dialing it in, I could do it all day. I get in the zone. I'm doing way more finish work on these things than I think they need. But um gosh, it's just bad to it's just when I'm doing it, I'm nowhere else. I'm just right there in it right then. And it's pretty neat. And I think that's what I must like about it. I mean, of course I like the look of it when I'm done, but let's bring over the F1. We're at the end of the show about so I smacked it up pretty good. And you guys will see it in the video when I finally get it done. But I landed on the roof. There's no window to help support it, nothing. I crashed this a bunch, and all I did was crack it. I cracked it there, and I broke the A pillar out. I've already chamfered out the brake, filled it with glue, blocked it out with a file, and then sanded more for finesse. And I've hit it with Bondo, bro. And then I got to sand, finish this. But dude, I enjoy it so much. And every time I do get paint on it, I see where else it needs a little attention. So this door I printed down, and so it was an absolute mess. I filled it with the 2-part plastic stuff, and so it feels smooth, but you see the lines. But same with around the door here. You could see all the lines, like worse than usual because it was printed. That was the start. And sometimes where they finish, you have a ton of lines as well. But I enjoy making it go away. This spot needed some attention, so it got sanded and bondoed. And then the A pillar that broke, it was completely out. This here and this completely out. So before I just glued it back in, I prepped it a bunch, cleaned it up, sanded it up, all that mess, chamfered it out, glued it, sanded it, so it's smooth, ready for whatever finish. And part of it, I like the seeing how the work was done. I keep wanting to paint them, and I'm starting to want to do the patina with an airbrush and washes and a brush and stuff like that. Because I love patina. I do. My daughter says I'm a rust fairy spirit. Yeah, dude, the F250 so looking, it's coming. I gotta, there's a lot more I'm gonna do to this, make it look even better, but I just had to get a run on it. And I knew we were going to a spot Saturday that was going to be challenging as far as the location. And the big red Travelall, I didn't want to break it again. It looks so good. It's my scaler, so to say, as far as the SCX6 goes. But let's look at this again for a minute. Now that you went to dinner, as far as an SCX6 goes, this is the lightest weight one I have. And it sits really low. There's no box back. So as far as crawler performance goes, this is my best performing SCX6 because there's like little to no departure angle. Like you're into the wheels right away. There's a little bit hanging off on approach. There's a little bit hanging off in the back, but not a lot. And in considering its low center of gravity, this right now currently is my best performing SCX6. And because I knew we were going to a really challenging type of location, I wanted to have this one out with us. So I brought it. I got just a tiny bit of, you can see I already drew on where I want to cut on the back arch just to even it up aesthetically. But there's not a lot hanging off the back, actually. So I'm going to have, and then it's a narrow body. Like, look how much tires are sticking out. So approach angle and departure, no problem with this truck. And it did really good. It did. So yeah, there's a lot more I want to do to it, but it's pretty much aesthetics at this point. And I'm gonna get the bed done. I'm gonna hide the shock tower, get the windows in, wipers. I probably will paint the repairs on this one. The red door is staying though, for sure. And I may put, so the tires that are on this truck right now are actually a stiffer foam insert that I got from Steady Foam a long time ago. They sent me, and I did a video with the SEX6. I did multiple videos with SEX6s, but with the Steady Foam tires. And I do like the stiffer foams, especially when you have a heavy body. But now that this body doesn't weigh much at all, I'm going to probably use these stiffer foams in a heavier truck and go with the stock foams on this one and just let it soak it up because oh no, what's happening? You have convinced me to add a SCX6 on day. What do you mean? I'm curious. It's Kelly's fault, man. It's Kelly's fault. I'm actually so glad those guys got sixes because I had one, but no one else did. And so when we go crawling, if you're the only guy with a six, it's just like you're taking different lines, different trails. So the fact that three of us going out together with these sixes is so cool. And on the video that we filmed Saturday that I'm trying to get to the edit on, we got my Ford, Kelly has a Volkswagen Bug, and Kirk's driving the Land Rover. I call it Midnight. It's kind of blackout edition. It's a little, oh yeah, dude. They're blowing SCXs out, sixes out all the time. It feels like you can get one for $200 or $300 off because they're big ticket, but they're good. I have a brand new Honcho body that has not driven because I want something for these bodies. So if anybody ever needs a brand new SCX6 Honcho, the White Willie, no, that's 10 scale. That's on a base camp builder's kit. This Willie, they call it 6 scale, but it's a 10 scale size wheelbase. It's because that Jeep is small in real life. It's not really an SCX. It's not an SCX6. And whatever you guys want to add to your collection, consider clicking through the links in my description. Thanks. I've been playing with the Bondo putty. I like it. I've been playing with the UV resin, and I like it, except I need a bigger lamp. And on Amazon, they've got, you can get like 2 crazy hardcore UV lights for $20 or something. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use more of that resin on some things because it actually brushes on pretty nice. And for the most part, self-levels really, really great, which I think is way better than, and it doesn't start to cure until you get the light on it. Not yet, Philip, but I'm gonna. Yeah, you have more work time. When I mix up that 2-part plastic stuff, dude, you do not have a lot of work time at all. And so you're spreading it and it's getting thicker as you're doing it. You don't put it on with a brush anyway. It's not gonna, It'll self-level in a way if it's really thick, but you end up, just like drywall. Like imagine drywall and a bunch of curves. It gives you a lot of experience or opportunity for knife marks and things like that. No, the Better Light is on my list. I'm getting it because I do like that stuff. I don't like the smell of it, but it's going to be really good. And I think it's going to be really good for like, you know, I wanted to take this out and beat on it to see what it needed, because once I've got all of the aesthetics done, I don't want it breaking up really anymore. So I see opportunities as I'm making repairs to stiffen things up. And I think as thin as that epoxy UV resin can be applied, it's awesome to use it where you're going to need more strength, like A-pillars and some of those fiddly bits. And I think you can apply it and get it cured out without creating a whole lot of finish work for yourself. Dude, Kirk and Kelly were talking about, like, if they ever did sixes again, because we talk about like getting stuck in the woods, having to carry one of these out would be brutal. So like bring enough tools to undo the drive shaft so you can pull it out with a rope. If they had a neutral, that would be good too. If there was a neutral gear, you could do that. If you're looking at sixes though, Ty, the Honcho and the Wrangler Rubicon are like the same truck. However, the Honcho's a little bit easier to get into with the hinged back body. It's easier to change the batteries. If you just look at the opportunity for articulation, it's a little better on those fronts. So out of the box, the Honcho is going to be better than the Wrangler, but the Wrangler's no slouch. The only thing going against the Wrangler is it's harder to get the body off and on and deal with the battery than the Honcho is. But otherwise, the only difference is the bumpers and the rock rails. That's it. What's up, John Graham? Rushing stuff is when you make mistakes. And when I glued the A-pillar back on in the woods, it wasn't as nice as after I fixed it here at the house. But we bring tools out with us. I had CA with me. I glued the A-pillar back in and was going. And listen, the only reason I broke stuff is because I'm in second gear jumping things. So I'm not mad at my stuff breaking. And think about this. When you break Lexan, the two pieces of Lexan material, there's so little surface area that when you put them back together, there's not much going on. But this 3D printed stuff all has a wall thickness and a real dimension to it, which gives you that much more contact area for the adhesion when you repair it. I mean, I could put that A-pillar back because it breaks out like a puzzle piece. I could put it back in and not glue it at all. And as long as I didn't jump it anymore, I would have been okay. And that's because it's coming in on the door and the down and the angle and however it broke out of there, and so it fits like a puzzle rather than trying to stack $2 bills on top of each other like this. Yeah, I would not want to carry one out of the woods. Legit, we have stuff to undo our drive shafts. Because it's a transmission that's going to give you the friction. Okay, a little bit of diff action just rolling, but not bad. Just like that Typhon without the front drive shaft, it's super easy to roll on the wheels, even though there's a diff in there. It's not attached to anything. So, yep. 11:30. Sergeant J just put out a video on the Notorious 6S, or looks like a reel or a YouTube short. Kelly got a pretty good clip of this truck jumping that I just put out on Instagram and Facebook today. But that video is going to be fun. We were at a location I had never been to before. Good time. Okay. So Monday night, Real Flight Fly-In. Let's do it at Wild Bill's channel, 9:30 Eastern time. Fun room to hang out in. Even if you're not going to be in the Real Flight room, you can see what's going on and hang out in the community. Hopefully it gets you inspired to fly something, get a real flight or a beginner plane and start working it out. Flying is amazing. There's nothing like it either. So that's happening Monday. Tuesday, Ty's on. Wednesday, I watched Harley and Scale Builders. If I miss you, drop your stuff in here. Thursday, I'm back. And we got our buddies on all week. Jeff, you're doing one on, are you Friday? But check each other out. Appreciate you guys for coming. We're hour 10 minutes, hour 50 minutes. I'm going to get to work on this. I tell you, with the crawler stuff, man, I have hour and a half, 2 hours worth of content to try to look through to whittle into 15 minutes. And I'm doing something a little bit different on this one. You guys, here, let me talk about this real quick. I know, man, I get feeling bad sometimes talking trucks on the plane show, but it's the Pilot Ryan show, man. And this is what I'm up to. I think the crawler videos in the woods are amazing. I'm glad that it's not just me. I love it that there's a lot of stuff to film. And I think we're really starting to figure out kind of how it works best for us. You know, like we're thinking about the shots, and I'm trying to not miss these guys doing stuff. But I want to throw in, I think because of the 3D printing aspect, like the repairs, some of the builds, some of the approaches to attachment methods, like, I don't know, I just want to kill it with some B-roll, like value dump at the beginning of this thing. And like the a couple videos now on this travel all, and it's like I still want to film another one. I don't know if I filmed it with windows yet, right? Like I want to film them when they're done, but I also want to film them when I'm out there doing my trials, my tests, my breaking it up, see what it can handle, like that kind of stuff. And so I think dropping in some of those kinds of things I discover may be valuable to the people that are also making this stuff or considering it. And so not like a what's on the bench, but it's like each truck is its own personality in a way. And so why can't it have its own, not like an official series, but like, and I don't want to call them part 1, part 2, part 3, but it's like there's going to be multiple versions of this truck out visually and throughout the process of getting it the way that I want it, that I saw it in my head. And I think that's all right. I think these trucks do take enough time to get them the way I want, that getting them the way I want them is something worth sharing. So hopefully you dig it. It'll still be the same crawling videos, but I think with a little bit more meat in it. Philip set up Real Flight for new guy Esteban. He did awesome. To personal. Huh. Yeah, they'll change things every now and then. Bring it, run it, and video it, whatever capacity it is, and post it for sure. Yeah. And if you followed the travel all though, it's looked different 3 times. And I think some of that, and here's what I'm saying, even if I time lapse it, like I'm thinking about GoPro on the head when I'm in here at night working on them or finishing them or fixing whatever. I kind of want to be dropping that stuff in a little bit too. I even screenshotted the guy where I get the files from and scroll through his site on Colts 3D, because I just want to feel like I've done the whole project its justice, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get to work on it, man. But yeah, my fear is that I want to document it for my own sake. And I want to have not only just, okay, here it is in these different stages, but let's story that out. Like how, why, what did you do to get to where you ended up? Rather than like on the travel all, it's just like it looks this way. Now it doesn't. Now it looks like this. And that's kind of it. But these things seem to elicit a pretty strong response on Facebook whenever I post up on these 6s that we're doing as a group, because it's really around here for me. It's me, Kirk, and Kelly 3D printing these 6s and bringing it. And I just want to do the best I can to share it out. And I think it's kind of hot. I think you're seeing more of it now too. So I'd love to see the 6s stay relevant. They're a really good platform, and it's a crawler that you can get away with bashing. Light duty bashing. Every time I find a route, I'm jumping it, bro. And so I'm building these things tough enough to take that. So for crawling, they're fine. And the big ones in the snow, there's nothing better, Exactly, Dad. I mean, I still get crazy value out of that Corsair repair video because I got down and dirty and showed how I fix stuff. And I think it's overkill, the finished work I'm doing on these things. It really is legit me taking the things that I've learned from watching full scale car channels and applying it the best I can to what I'm doing. I don't know anything, man, but I get things. And if I see it done once, it's in my library forever. So I actually saved myself a bunch of time going with a file first rather than sanding after the initial gluing on this thing. I was able to really focus it on the glue on the seam rather than over sand all the shit around it. Blocked it out like a real car, bro. I don't know. You can't hardly tell yet. And that's why the close-ups and the B-roll in the videos, I think, is going to be priceless. You can't tell from here yet. But if I had my GoPro on my head when I was doing this, you know exactly what I was talking about right now. I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to do it. And I told you guys the red door story, right? If not, remind me. I'll tell you again on Thursday. Guys, appreciate you. I'm going to get to work on this, man. The video. Bondo paste. That stuff is awesome. It kind of stinks, but it's really good. I see a red door and I want to paint it black. Extra spicy. Mustard and biscuits. Some people call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade. See me on social in the meantime. I'm gonna try to get some little stuff out too, but the big videos are where it's at for me. I feel like if you make a really dope intro on a 15-minute video, then you've got a dope intro that you can cut short form out of. And that's about all you're going to get. Otherwise, cool jumps and tater tots is what it's going to be. How many of you guys do call yourself hanger rats? I think most of you do. Oh, yeah. Timber. I am the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. We're out here in 5. Hanger rats forever. 3 you later. You're too good to be forgotten. We will see you next time. The lights flashing. Bye now. Rust Fairy Spirit in the house, reporting for duty. See you later, all. Be well. See you Monday night for the fly-in. 8675-309. Go triple time. Get a big sundae and eat it with some pleasure, because peanuts ain't for free. All right. Later. Bye now. Boom. Peanuts ain't for free. Make your life for me. Sitting at the Ground Round restaurant. Buffet meal. $3.99. Go triple time. Get a big sundae and eat it with some pleasure, cause peanuts ain't for free. Girl, make your life for me. Oh, yeah. Am I still on? No. No. End it.